Chapter 659, An actual three-tailed fox and Feng and the others immediately began digging. The more they dug, the more frustrated they became. There was no sign of loosening in the soil, so how could there be a cave entrance here? Could this mighty elephant have remembered the wrong place? Even the mighty elephant began to doubt itself. Could it be that it had gone to the wrong location? And Feng and the others had no choice. On one hand, they sent people to guard the place, and on the other, they continued to search for Yun Chujia's whereabouts. Yun Chujio, who was worrying by everyone, was looking at the group of foxes in front of her with a dumbfounded expression. Fuck! Who could tell her that she was infected by little black birdess crow's mouth? Why did she fall into the fox cave? In a three-tailed fox cave? At that time, Yun Chujio jumped off the back of the mighty elephant. Before she could stand, a large hole appeared on the ground. A white light flashed in front of her eyes, and then she found that she had fallen into a huge cave. Before he could react, he was surrounded by several flaming three-tailed foxes. These three-tailed foxes were drooling as they looked at Yun Chujio. They looked as if they were going to tear her apart and eat her up immediately. Yun Chujio shivered. Was she that delicious? She waved her hands. I'm sorry. I'm just passing by. I'll leave now. The leader of the three-tailed foxes started to howl. The rest of the foxes started to howl as well. Yun Chujio felt that the howls were a little ear-piercing, and her head started to feel dizzy. Fortunately, the strange grass used its leaves to exert a cooling effect on Yun Chujia's spirit to help her regain consciousness. Oh, shit! The cries of the foxes were seductive. They were very difficult to deal with. Yun Chujio secretly took out the hidden amulet, then used spiritual power to stimulate it for a long time but did not succeed. She was on the verge of tears. It's over. She was not killed by those men in black, nor was she trampled to death by the demon beast Tide. She was going to die in the hands of the fox. It was her own made-up three-tailed fox. Fellow fox brothers, let's discuss this properly. Stop shouting for a while, it's so tiring. While laughing, Yun Chujio secretly observed the surrounding terrain. She was prepared to charge out first after she succeeded in her attack. Seeing that Yun Chujio was not hit, the flaming three-tailed fox king's stone-like eyes flashed with a trace of surprise. Then, she arched her body and made a posture as if she was going to attack and bite. The flaming three-tailed fox king opened its mouth and was about to give the order to attack, but Yun Chujio quickly threw out the corpse of a wind-blade rabbit. She was purely trying to stall for time. It was unexpected that the flaming three-tailed fox king only hesitated for a moment before it began to bite into the wind-blade rabbit impatiently. The rest of the flaming three-tailed foxes kept drooling, but they did not dare to snatch the food from the fox king. Yun Chujia's heart skipped a beat. There was a problem. There was a huge problem. Logically speaking, these flaming three-tailed foxes were all level 7 demonic beasts, and the Fox King was at least level 8. How could it look like it had not eaten for hundreds of years? It was truly unbelievable. Yun Chujio wanted to test it out, so she threw out another wind-blade rabbit. The Fox King hesitated for a moment, but in the end, he still pulled the wind-blade rabbit to the other 10 or so foxes. The 10 or so foxes immediately began to bite and fight, as if they have not eaten meat in centuries. Yun Chujio was pleasantly surprised. It seemed that her guess was right. These flaming three-tailed foxes must have been hungry for a long time. She had an inexhaustible supply of demon beast corpses, so she could use this to buy time. Yun Chujio threw out the corpses of 10 wind-edge rabbits. Then, she said to the flaming three-tailed fox king, "Brother Fox, I don't have anything else. There is plenty of demon beast meat. As long as you don't hurt me, I will provide you with food. How about it?" Chapter 660, Making a Fortune. The flaming three-tailed fox king did not hesitate at all. She could not wait to nod her head. Yun Chujio was even more puzzled. Oh my god, what on earth is going on? Although the level 7 demonic beasts in the demonic beast forest did not have a particularly high level of spiritual power, it was not a problem for them to hunt for food. Moreover, these flaming three-tailed foxes had a natural talent for seduction. How could they have fallen to such a state? Yun Chujio fed the flaming three-tailed foxes 2 wind-edge oxen. The foxes all had satisfied expressions on their faces, and the way they looked at Yun Chujio was much gentler. It was not that Yun Chujio had not thought of tampering with the corpses of the demonic beasts, but the current situation was a little strange. These flaming three-tailed foxes were aborigines, so it was better to observe the situation first. Yun Chujio took advantage of the time when the foxes were eating and drinking to size up the cave. The cave meandered into the distance, and there seemed to be light shooting in. She didn't know where it led to. Brother Fox, you guys have been hungry for a long time. Yun Chujio probed the flaming three-tailed fox king. The flaming three-tailed fox king nodded. Its originally fiery red fur became even redder. It was obvious that it had been embarrassed at its situation. A magnificent exotic beast was actually going to starve to death. If word got out, it would be laughed at to death by the other demonic beasts. Although Yun Chujio wanted to laugh in her heart, her face was solemn. Brother Fox, how is this possible? You guys are so powerful, how can you starve? The fur on the Fox King's body was an even darker blood-like red. It struggled for a moment before turning around and running towards a bright spot, indicating for Yun Chujio to follow. Yun Chujio inexplicably followed the Fox King. The other foxes also followed, surrounding Yun Chujio in the middle and escorting her. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. No wonder foxes were said to be the most cunning. These foxes were afraid that she would escape, so they never let down their guard. After walking for more than an hour, they finally walked out of the cave. When Yun Chujio saw the scene in front of her, she could not help but be stunned. After being stunned for a while, she almost burst into laughter. Oh God! I will never scold you again. So my previous bad luck was all for this moment of brilliance. Ha ha ha. I'm rich. I'm rich. In front of her was a huge mineral vein. On the surface, one could see all kinds of colorful precious ores, just like a rainbow in the sky. Meteor. This was the Hui Chui mine that those men in black were talking about. Oh my God, my mouth is wide open now. Whatever I wish for is coming true. With this Hui Chui mine, little black rat no longer had to worry about its rations. That old witch even said that I was going for the pretty boy's money. In the future, I will use these ores to smash her to death. I will show her how rich a person can be. Yun Chujio had a pickaxe in her storage ring. She had completely forgotten about the current situation. She took out the pickaxe and started to dig. First, she would recover the losses that the men in black had taken away from her. Then, she would start to profit from the rest. The flaming three-tailed foxes were stunned. Are you really ignoring our existence? When did we ask you to start mining? The flaming three-tailed fox king cried out a few times. It was only then that Yun Chujio, who was immersed in her dream of making a fortune, was awakened. She laughed dryly, Brother Fox, please forgive me. I am someone that dies for money just like birds die for food. It is in my nature. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. The flaming three-tailed fox king looked at Yun Chujio with disdain. Stupid human. Although this broken stone was pretty, what use was it? Could it be eaten? Could it be drunk? It was good-looking but useless. Chapter 661, Only 40 years. The flaming three-tailed fox king looked at the beautiful ores and felt a river of sadness in his heart. It was a bitter and painful experience. Yun Chujio was angered by the fox king's disdainful look. Damn it, you little bastard. How dare you look down on me? This is outrageous. If it wasn't for me, you would still be hungry. What's so awesome about it? However, this fellow only dared to be angry in her heart and did not show it on her face as she asked, "Brother Fox, what does this mine have to do with you guys being hungry?" The flaming three-tailed fox king's gaze became even more contemptuous, as if it was beneath it to answer. Yun Chujio was so depressed that she almost vomited blood. However, after weighing the pros and cons, she decided to swallow her anger. Since the other party did not say anything, she could only think about it herself. She rubbed her chin and gradually, her thoughts became clearer. When she fell in, a white light flashed in front of her eyes. It was probably because she had activated some kind of formation or something. That was why she fell into this cave. At the end of the cave was a mineral vein. It was a completely sealed space. These foxes might have been in the same situation as her. They might have been unintentionally teleported in, but they could not find a way out. Therefore, they could only wait for death there. It was just that they did not know how long they had fallen in for. "Did you guys barge in here by mistake too?" Yun Chujio probed the Fox King. The flaming three-tailed Fox King nodded. This little human girl isn't completely dumb after all. Damn it. Back then, when I led these subordinates, they were so powerful. In the first 2 levels of the demonic beast forest, they were unimpeded and were the kings and overlords. Even the demonic beasts on the 3rd level did not dare to provoke them. Who would have thought that in order to chase after a group of windblade rabbits, they would be unlucky enough to fall into this place? It was really impossible for them to get out even if they tried all kinds of methods. Fortunately, this king was smart enough to get everyone to go into hibernation. That was why they did not starve to death. If not for this little human girl falling in, who knows how long they would have slept. "How long have you fallen in?" Yun Chujio continued to ask. The flaming three-tailed fox king stretched out a claw. Yun Chujio asked, "For years." The Fox King revealed a disdainful expression. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. "You stinky fox, you are about to starve to death. Why are you still acting?" Yun Chujio could only ask again, "Could it be 40 years?" The flaming three-tailed Fox King finally nodded. Yun Chujio revealed a look of despair. They actually could not find an exit even after 40 years. The Fox King was very puzzled. It was only 40 years. Why was this little girl so surprised? Exotic beasts could live up to 10,000 years. What was a mere 40 years? Yun Chujio sat down on the ground. Damn it! These foxes could not find a way out even after 40 years. Could she do it? Should she ask the gigolo? However, since the concealment talisman did not work, the voice transmission talisman would definitely be useless. Yun Chujio took out the voice transmission talisman and tried it. Sure enough, it did not work. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that her chances of finding the exit were slim. This meta-ore is so valuable. The person who designed the formation must design the most difficult formation to crack. With my half-baked skills, it's impossible to crack it. Sob sob. The gigolo had even told her 2 nights ago that he was only willing to be with one person and would never leave her side. Now, she was unlucky enough to fall into this hole. Damn it! In more than 5 years, that old witch would force the gigolo to marry a wife, let alone 40 years. Sob sob. It was not easy for her to raise a husband-slave, but now the other girls would take advantage of her. She was really unhappy. Chapter 662, You Are a Big Liar. Yun Chujio abandoned herself to despair for a while, and then she was revived again. Damn! She was a little pest that could not be killed even by lightning. She did not believe that she could not find a way out. Therefore, this girl began to knock around and use her half-baked knowledge of arrays to find a way out. At the beginning, the three-tailed foxes of Lai Yen looked at Yun Chujio with anticipation. The flaming three-tailed fox king looked at Yun Chujio's professional look and thought to itself, this human girl looks decent. Maybe she can really find a way out. I have to admit that humans are indeed smarter than demon beasts. In the blink of an eye, 10 days passed. The foxes went about their business. This little girl was obviously impressive looking but useless. She did not find anything even after such a long time. If it was not for the fact that she had provided them with food and water, they would have eaten her long ago. You are a fucking liar, and a fraud. The Fox King decided to take back what it had said earlier. TSK. Humans are just so. They're not as smart as demon beasts. Yun Chujio had lost her gusto again. She could only use her pickaxe to dig for minerals to comfort her miserable mood. Fortunately, there was an endless supply of water and food in the Great Void Mystic Realm. It would not be a problem for her to live there for a few hundred years. However, she did not want to die with the foxes. When the Fox King heard Yun Chujio's muttering, it curled its lips in disdain. We will not die with you. If you cannot provide us with food, we will eat you. Then, we will continue to hibernate and wait for the next unlucky person. At that moment, Yun Chujio's heart was half as bright as spring and half as cold as ice and snow. Naturally, she was overjoyed to have dug out many precious ores. However, when she thought about how she had no place to spend her money, she immediately became listless. Fortunately, after the incident with the deathly aura, this fellow's willpower had become much stronger. After a few days of hesitation and depression, she began to revive to full health. This fellow had set a strict schedule for herself. Apart from eating and sleeping, she spent 1/3 of her time mining, 1/3 of her time searching for the formation's core, and 1/3 of her time fighting with the flaming three-tailed foxes. The foxes abandoned their moral dignity for food. They unwillingly became Yun Chujio's sparring partner. In any case, Yun Chujio had a lot of medicinal pills in her hands. Even if she accidentally injured those foxes, she let them consume medicinal pills to treat their injuries. At first, these foxes did not look up to Yun Chujio at all. Later, they realized that this little girl was much stronger than she looked, and was not in the 8th level at all. Damn it, this little girl is a big liar. Yun Chujio was at the 7th level of the Spirit Cultivator realm, and these foxes were Tier 7 demon beasts. Their spiritual power was basically the same. However, Yun Chujio, this little pervert, was able to deal with one fox with ease. Later on, it became a fight between one person and two foxes. These foxes were motivated by their desire to win, and they fought with Yun Chujio every day. When Yun Chujio was fighting with the flaming three-tailed foxes, she did not show any evil intentions. She relied entirely on the lightning strike and her swift movements to fight with them. As time passed, Yun Chujio felt that although her spiritual power had not leveled up, her control of the lightning spiritual power was more skillful, and her movements were also more agile. After a month, Yun Chujio was not at a disadvantage even when fighting with 5 foxes. She mocked herself in her heart. It seemed that it was not a bad thing to fall into the fox cave. At least her actual combat ability had greatly improved. Chapter 663, Breaking the Formation with Lightning. The flaming three-tailed fox king saw that Yun Chujio's actual combat ability had improved so much, and it had a glimmer of hope that Yun Chujio would be able to find a way out. This little girl had a heavenly thunder root spirit, and she was so smart. She would definitely be able to find a way out. However, its hope was shattered once again. Another month passed. Although Yun Chujio's storage ring had more and more precious ores, and she would not be at a disadvantage even against the 7 flaming three-tailed foxes, she still had not found a way out. The Fox King was completely disappointed. Her heavenly root spirit is only a so. Humph. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have had any hope for her. What a waste! Yun Chuzhou, on the other hand, became calmer and calmer. In the end, she simply stopped looking for a way out. The flaming three-tailed fox king thought to himself, looks like this little girl was prepared to give up. Then they will just follow her and wait for death. It was unknown how much food there was in this little girl's storage ring. If the food ran out, it would eat this little girl. Although there was a slight loss of affection for their friendship in those few days, in order to survive, one could not blame the Fox King for being heartless. 2 months later, Yun Chuzhou stopped looking for the foxes to fight. She knew the moves of these foxes too well. There would be no more gains even if they continued fighting. Yun Chuzhou began to focus on her cultivation every day. The flaming three-tailed fox king scoffed at her. Is this little girl crazy? You have the heavenly thunder root spirit, but there is no thunder here. What are you cultivating for? This was the first time Yun Chuzhou was so focused on her cultivation. She slowly converted the power of lightning from the strange grass into her own. She constantly combed the thunder spiritual force in her body, allowing it to continuously cleanse the meridians in her body. The Fox King saw Yun Chuzhou cultivating every day and was as curious as a cat. This little girl can actually cultivate? How is this possible? This little girl is really too difficult for me to understand. As time passed, the lightning spiritual energy in Yun Chuzhou's body quickly gathered. She felt that it was about time. Brother Fox, I will go to the mine in a while to break through. You guys stay far away from me to avoid getting hurt, Yun Chuzhou said to the flaming three-tailed Fox King. The Fox King was dumbfounded. This little girl wanted to break through here. Is she crazy? Breaking through required a large amount of lightning spiritual energy. Where would you get it? Besides, what does it matter to us? The Fox King did not think much of it. He calmly squatted beside Yun Chuzhou, ready to watch the show. Seeing this, Yun Chuzhou did not say much. It was hard to persuade the damn fox. In a while, you will know why I asked you to avoid me. However, Yun Chuzhou was not too sure. Back when she was in the fire cave when she contracted the fire spirit beast, the heavenly lightning only struck her after she left. She did not know if the heavenly lightning would directly strike down if she broke through there. Even if it did not, the dark clouds would gather together abnormally. Perhaps it could give the gigolo some hints, allowing him to quickly lock onto her position and save her. She really had no other choice. The formation there was most likely left behind from ancient times. Even Elder Chu and the others could not break it at all. They could only rely on the power of the heavenly lightning to destroy the formation core. Yun Chuzhou's accumulated lightning spiritual energy could have broken through to the Spirit Emperor realm a long time ago. However, she was afraid that her foundation would not be stable, so she had not made a breakthrough. Yun Chuzhou had specially strengthened her meridians during this period of time in order to make preparations for breaking through to the Spirit Emperor realm. Chapter 664, Little Jiu was too smart. The reason why Yun Chuzhou chose to break through near the mineral vein was that this fellow was prepared to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. When the heavenly lightning struck down, it would be equivalent to helping her mine the mineral vein. Thinking about it, would it not be beautiful? When the time came, she would have escaped and made a fortune. She was really too smart. Yun Chuzhou sat cross-legged and began to break through. During these 4 months, Yun Chuzhou had a good time. Outside, Di Baiming's days felt like years. How did this person disappear into thin air? Eldest was questioned by Di Baiming countless times. In the end, it felt that there was something wrong with its brain. Could it be that during the process of avoiding the beast stampede, the little girl fell off its back and was trampled to death? That did not make sense. Even if the corpse was eaten by the demon beasts, there would not be no traces left behind. Di Baiming thought for a moment and felt that Yun Chuzhou had most likely activated the array formation by accident. He asked Feng to invite Elder Chu over to take a look. Anfeng sighed. Miss Jiu, Miss Jiu. You can actually activate the array formation in the demon beast forest. This is really bad luck. Elder Chu inspected it a few times but did not find any traces of the array formation. Young Master D, I am really incompetent. I could not find any traces of the array formation at all. Elder Chu, don't blame yourself too much. The array formation here might have been left behind by a mighty figure in the past. Di Baiming frowned. For now, the only thing he could do was to let his master check it out. Unfortunately, the old man of Lake Tianqi did not reply to Di Baiming. Di Baiming was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. He did not dare to dig recklessly. If he destroyed the array core, little Jiu would not be able to come back. Di Baiming had no choice but to take Anfeng and the others to set up camp here and wait for news from the old man. The palace master's wife urged him a few times, so Di Baiming had no choice but to tell her the news of Yunchujia's accident. The palace master's wife asked Di Baiming to calm down. Maybe things would turn around. Di Baiming was a little surprised. His mother said she hated little Jiu, but unexpectedly, she was pretty nice about this. How would he know that after the palace mistress put away the voice transmission talisman, she could not stop smiling? That little trash is actually dead. The heavens are really fair. Speaking of which, the heavens do not tolerate the heavenly thunder root spirit. Sooner or later, it would kill her. Sigh. This stubborn man, Baiming, would definitely be sad for a while. However, time was the best medicine. As time passed, he would naturally forget about it. When the time came, she would introduce a few good girls to him, and then she would just have to wait to have a grandson. It was great that the little trash died. Di Baiming had just put away his voice transmission talisman when he noticed that a large amount of thick and heavy dark cloud was gathering there. Di Baiming was stunned, and then he was ecstatic. Little Jiu was still alive. In the entire world, the only one who could make the heavens send out such a large amount of heavenly lightning was little Jiu. This meant that the black thing must be nearby, but because of the formation, they could not find her. Di Baiming understood Yunchujia's intention after some thought. Little Jiu must be breaking through somewhere. The reason why she did this was probably to use the power of the heavenly lightning to destroy the formation's core. Even if she could not destroy the formation's core, she could show him where she was. Little Jiu was too smart. Anfeng looked up at the thick dark clouds in the sky and saw the ecstatic expression of his venerable one. After being stunned for a while, he turned around and admired Yunchujia in his heart. Miss Jiu was simply not human, she was too smart. Chapter 665. The little girl was too kind. Yunchujia waited for a while, but there was no heavenly lightning as she had expected. She was a little anxious. Could it be that this array formation was so powerful that even the heavenly lightning could not break it? It should not be. Did they not say that the heavenly lightning was invincible? That old bastard heavens relied on the heavenly lightning to scare people. The heavenly lightning should be the most powerful, so she had to work harder. Thus, this fellow started to curse, heavens. You old bastard. Didn't you always want to kill me? Why don't you strike me? If you don't strike me to death, you're a cowardly old bastard. It did not matter that Yunchujia cursed, but the flaming three-tailed fox was so scared that it almost fainted. Fuck. Has this little girl gone mad? You actually dare to curse at the heavens? Are you courting death? No wonder she told us to stay away. It turns out that she wants to commit suicide. The Fox King quickly brought its subordinates and retreated far away. The heavens would not forgive this little girl for insulting it. Even within this array formation, the heavenly lightning would descend and kill her. The flaming three-tailed Fox King's heart stirred when it thought of this. Wait, if the heavens were to descend the heavenly lightning, wouldn't the array formation here be destroyed? If the array was destroyed, we can escape. Heavens! This little girl is actually committing suicide to get us out. Sob sob. I'm truly moved. This little girl is really too kind. I feel ashamed of my previous thoughts. If she wasn't struck to death by lightning, I will definitely repay her properly. However, this king probably would not have the chance to repay her. If she insults the heavens like this, it will definitely send down several bolts of lightning. It would not be long before she will be reduced to ashes. After Yun Chuzhou finished cursing, seeing that there was still no lightning, her heart became even more uncertain. She could only continue cursing, heavens. Are you deaf? I'm scolding you, didn't you hear me? If you have the guts, then let the lightning strike me to death. If you don't have the guts, then forget it. What Yun Chuzhou did not know was that the entire demonic beast forest had already been enveloped by dark clouds. It was supposed to be broad daylight, but it became pitch black. The demonic beasts in the entire forest were scared to the point of fleeing in all directions, especially some high-level demonic beasts who were afraid that heavens would kill them. They were scared to the point that they hid anywhere they could find. They thought to themselves, could it be that their little tricks from 3 months ago had been discovered by heavens? They had just smelled an alluring fragrance and wanted to find the source. Even if heavens was angry, it would not have used such a large formation of clouds. Was it going to raise the demonic beast forest to the ground? Di Biming was extremely worried. Little Jiu, what did you do to provoke the heavens this time? Why did it seem like it was even more serious than the last time in the fire cave? And Feng mocked in his heart. Miss Jiu seems to have gone too far this time. Oh my God, with such a huge formation of clouds, no formation core can withstand it. Miss Jiu, when the time comes, don't throw stones at your own feet. And Feng, take your men and retreat to the outside of the demonic beast forest. I will stay here by myself, Di Biming instructed and Feng. Your Holiness, please come with us. The heavenly lightning is coming with great force. It would be bad if it accidentally injured you, and Feng advised. I know what to do. You guys can go. Di Biming's voice turned cold. And Feng did not dare to disobey him, so he had no choice but to leave the demonic beast forest with the rest of his men. And Feng had been praying to the gods and Buddhas along the way. Please protect your holiness and Miss Jiu. Please don't let anything happen to them. Chapter 666, Heavenly Lightning, help me mind. The pressure was getting heavier and heavier. The low-level beasts in the forest were all crawling on the ground, shivering. The high-level beasts were not any better off. Their hearts were about to jump out of their chests. Oh God, what on earth was going on? The heavens have never been so angry before. Which ancestor offended the heavens? Yun Chuzhou did not know what was happening outside. She was still scolding heavens recklessly. Heavens! You old bastard! You're hiding in a turtle shell, but you never come out even if you have the ability. If you don't strike today, just as Yun Chuzhou said strike, a deafening thunder rumbled. Yun Chuzhou was so happy that she almost jumped up. That was great. The heavenly thunder had finally struck. In the beginning, the heavenly thunder had only struck the top of the cave. It seemed that it had not destroyed the formation yet. Yun Chuzhou could not help but admire the person who set up this formation. The heavenly thunder had struck for so long without destroying it. It would be great if the formation was that powerful. The Fox King and its subordinates were all trembling in fear. It's too scary. We have lived for hundreds of years, but we have never heard such a dense thunder. This little girl has completely infuriated heavens. Sob sob, I wonder what heavenly lightning looks like. After the formation is destroyed, it won't accidentally injure us, right? It has to be said that this formation was extremely sturdy. After the dense heavenly lightning struck for a full hour, the formation began to crack. The heavenly lightning struck toward Yun Chuzhou through the crack. Flaming three-tailed fox king closed its eyes. It's over. This little girl is done for. Sigh, this little girl could be considered to have sacrificed herself for the sake of the beast. Have a safe journey. After a while, the heavenly lightning was still rumbling. The Fox King opened its eyes to take a look. It could not believe what it saw. That little girl was actually fine. Moreover, she was still jumping around. At first, it thought that she was avoiding the thunder, but it turned out that she was deliberately drawing the thunder to strike those mineral veins. After striking down some ores, she put some into her storage ring. She was really busy. The flaming three-tailed fox king was dumbfounded. Fuck. This little girl was really willing to sacrifice her life for money. She actually used heavenly lightning to help her mine ores. Oh my God, could it be that the outside world had undergone tremendous changes in the past 40 years? Were humans so abnormal? Not only were they not afraid of being struck by lightning, but they actually let the heavenly lightning work for them. At that moment, Yun Chujio only had one word in her heart, beautiful. I'm simply too smart. By continuously dodging, not only can I get these silly heavenly lightning to help me release the ores, but I can also get these ores to help me block a portion of the heavenly lightning. It's really killing two birds with one stone. As the heavenly lightning bolts descended, the ceiling of the cave began to collapse. However, Yun Chujio was not afraid of being crushed to death by the rocks. The rocks above her had already been reduced to ashes by the heavenly lightning bolts. The flaming three-tailed fox king was in a miserable state. They could not withstand these rocks. However, if they were to hide beside Yun Chujio, they would not be afraid of being accidentally injured by the heavenly lightning bolts. It had to watch carefully. The heavenly lightning bolts did not have good eyesight, as more than half of the heavenly lightning bolts did not strike the little girl. They were all used by the little girl to split the ores. The flaming three-tailed fox king could only pitifully call out to Yun Chujio, hoping that Yun Chujio could help them. Yun Chujio did not make things difficult for them. She told them not to resist, and then put them into the spirit beast pouch. Chapter 667, Dark clouds couldn't take it anymore. After flaming three-tailed foxes entered the spirit beast pouch, they saw that there were already 3 other beasts inside. A mighty elephant cub. A fire-breathing crow. And a tailless burrowing rat. The Fox King had a look of disdain. Although this little girl's abilities aren't bad, the spirit beasts she took in are really bad, right? Only the mighty elephant could be considered passable, but it was a pity that it was still a cub. That fire-breathing crow and tailless burrowing rat were simply too weak. Little Black was very shrewd, and immediately saw through the flaming three-tailed fox king's intentions. He cursed in his heart, "You shameless bastard, just you wait. Wait until master leaves, and see how I will deal with you." Humph. After master advances, I will definitely advance as well. When that time comes, I will beat you up until you find your teeth all over the ground. Yun Chujio did not know about the internal strife in the spirit beast pouch. At that moment, she was jumping around happily, trying her best not to waste every bolt of heavenly lightning. When she left later, these mineral veins might not be able to be preserved. At that moment, if she could get more, she would get more. TSK, no matter who was mining, they would not be as efficient as her. A bolt of heavenly lightning would be able to produce a large piece. It was simply too satisfying. Compared to the heavenly lightning, those explosive talismans were simply too weak. In such a short period of time, the ores she obtained were comparable to the ores that thousands of people had mined for half a year. At this time, the cave had already begun to collapse non-stop, and the heavenly lightning was gradually gathering toward Yun Chujio. Thanks to her recent escapes, Yun Chujio felt that her physical strength was really great. After jumping around for so long, she was actually not tired at all. She was really pissing the clouds off. The dark clouds in the sky gradually realized Yun Chujia's intention, and they were so angry that they almost cringed to death. Fuck. Yun Chujio actually used them as free labor. She actually made them help her mine ore. It was intolerable. Hack her. Kill her. More concentrated heavenly thunder struck Yun Chujio. Of course, there were some who did not put in any effort, especially Little Dark Cloud, who was on good terms with Yun Chujio. The lightning that struck down from it struck the mineral vein. The strange grass and the great void mirror in Yun Chujia's dantian had become stronger than before. Hence, the ability to absorb the power of lightning was also much stronger. It continuously absorbed the power of lightning that surged into Yun Chujia's dantian. However, this time, it was obvious that Heavens was extremely angry. Almost all of the dark clouds gathered there. Streaks of purple lightning that were as thick as an adult's wrist continuously struck down at Yun Chujio, who was in the cave. Yun Chujio gradually could not take it anymore. She was also unable to jump and could only sit cross-legged. The moment she stopped and did not move, the purple heavenly lightning did not have any problem striking accurately. Streaks of heavenly lightning struck down at Yun Chujio one after another. Yun Chujio could only try her best to absorb the heavenly lightning and inject it into her dantian. However, even though her meridians had been cleansed by her, they were still unable to withstand such violent heavenly lightning. After the violent heavenly lightning entered her meridians, it continued to rampage. If this continued, Yun Chujio would explode like a balloon. At that moment, a figure jumped down from above and continuously formed seals to help Yun Chujio block the heavenly lightning. Gigolo! Yun Chujio hurriedly shouted, "Prince Charming, get out quickly. I can do it. You will be struck to death." Di Biming was unmoved and glared at her. "Stop talking nonsense and quickly channel the thunder spirit force in your body into your dantian. When I can't hold on anymore, you will be struck again." Chapter 668, Destined for Nothing. Yun Chujio felt that Di Biming's cut the crap attitude sounded more pleasant than his affectionate words. She did not say anything more and quickly combed through the thunder spirit force that was colliding all over her body and channeled it into her dantian. Then, she let strange grass and the great void mirror devour it. The dark clouds in the sky were about to explode with anger. It was not easy to kill this scourge, but this fearless one actually dares to show himself. It was because of him last time, or else they would have killed this scourge. The dark clouds vented its anger and kept bringing down the purple heavenly thunder on Di Biming. Di Biming was much stronger than the last time when he helped Yun Chujio to resist the heavenly thunder. After he formed a seal with his hands, a layer of spiritual energy shield appeared on his body, protecting him and Yun Chujio. However, this spiritual energy shield was extremely weak compared to the heavenly thunder. He had to constantly form seals to maintain it from being broken by the thunder. Therefore, Di Biming's spiritual energy consumption was very high. Fortunately, he had a lot of heaven-grade explosive spirit pills that Yun Chujio refined. He poured them into his mouth one by one and barely managed to maintain it for 15 minutes. The moment Di Biming's spiritual energy shield was shattered, Yun Chujio pushed Di Biming to the side and scolded the clouds in the sky, "Are you guys blind? I'm right here." As expected, the clouds did not attack Di Biming anymore and continued to attack Yun Chujio instead. When Yun Chujio could no longer hold on, Di Biming, who had recovered some of his spiritual power, formed another seal and created a spiritual power shield. The two of them persisted for another 4 hours. However, as time passed, the two of them were getting weaker and weaker. However, the dark clouds in the sky were getting stronger and stronger. Yun Chujio's heart sank. Was she really going to be done for? She was really shooting herself in the foot. Originally, she would not have died immediately after being trapped in the cave. But now, not only was she dead, but the gigolo was also going to die because of her. Yun Chujio knew that no matter how she tried to persuade him, Di Biming would not leave her alone. Could it be that the two of them could only die together? Yun Chujio recalled the time when she was in the fire cave. The Great Void Mirror had once brought her into the Great Void Mystic Realm. She did not know if it would work this time, hence, she used her spiritual sense to communicate with the Great Void Mirror. Little mirror, can you take me and the gigolo into your Great Void Mystic Realm? The Great Void Mirror trembled continuously. Yun Chujio knew that it was saying no when she saw the situation. It must have made an exception last time. There was no way to bring them in this time. What should she do? Yun Chujio's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness. She could not let the gigolo lose his life in order to save her. Since he did not leave, she could only make a move. Just as Di Biming was about to form another seal, Yun Chujio's palm struck the back of Di Biming's neck. Di Biming did not expect Yun Chujio to suddenly make her move. His attention was focused on the heavenly lightning. Yun Chujio's attack succeeded and she quickly pushed Di Biming to the side. Yun Chujio was afraid that the heavenly lightning would affect Di Biming, so she leaped with all her might to a place far away from Di Biming. Then, she shouted to the dark clouds in the sky, "Come. I'm here. Come and strike me." The heavenly lightning struck Yun Chujio again. Yun Chujio's meridians had reached a saturation state, and her whole body began to swell up. Yun Chujio turned to look at Di Biming on the other side. "Gigolo, although we fell in love, we're not fated to be together. I hope that we can be together in the next life." Chapter 669, Never Leave Each Other. Yun Chujio's mind flashed with scenes of her interaction with Di Biming. She could not help but smile bitterly. Our fate originated from this demonic beast forest, yet it actually ends in this demonic beast forest. It's truly fate. Yun Chujio's tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes. In my previous life, when I was struck by lightning, I could be said to have died without any worries. In my previous life, I only had one friend, Yun Chi. Yun Chi was cold-hearted through and through. When she found out that I was dead, she might not even shed tears, and would definitely be able to continue living well. In this life, however, there are too many attachments. The proud and loving gigolo, the kind and easygoing grandfather, the brother and sister who loved her dearly, Master Shenyuan who tolerated her, the elders, and those silly and cute foodies. Yun Chujio's heart surged with an intense reluctance. This reluctance instantly turned into unwillingness. Why? Why should I be deprived of my right to live? Why should I be killed by the heavens just because I have the heavenly thunder root spirit? I am unwilling. I cannot give up just like that. I have not found my adoptive parents, I have not had a child with the gigolo, and I have not even completed the task given to me by the old witch. I am unwilling. Yun Chujio's tendons and veins began to gradually burst open. The originally red clothes on her body began to turn dark red, and even the skin on her face began to crack, making her look like a bloody person. Little Jill. Di Biming actually woke up at this time. He jumped to Yun Chujio's side and protected Yun Chujio under his body, allowing the heavenly lightning to strike his body. Without waiting for Yun Chujio to react, Di Biming bit his index finger. Both of his hands quickly formed a seal again, and the spiritual energy barrier was once again strengthened. Yun Chujio discovered that Di Biming's hair was rapidly turning white, and his face was also rapidly aging. No! Di Biming, stop! Yun Chujio screamed. She knew that Di Biming must have used some kind of secret technique to burn his life force to increase his spiritual power. Di Biming. If you don't stop, I will kill myself immediately. Yun Chujio's eyes were filled with blood and tears. This was the first time she was so angry at her own incompetence and the injustice of the heavens. Di Biming quickly formed a seal and said, "Little Jill, I will do what I said. You will not die. No. Di Biming. I beg you. Please stop. I beg you. Please stop." Yun Chujia's veins were broken, she could not move at all. She could only watch as Di Baiming's black hair turned into silver strands. His handsome face had completely aged until he spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. No. Gigolo. Heavens. I'll fuck your ancestor over 1,000,000 times. I can't beat you in this life. I'll definitely crush your bones and scatter your ashes in the next life. Yun Chujio tried her best to crawl in front of Di Baiming, but she could not move at all. Yun Chujio used her fingers to dig into the ground and moved forward inch by inch. Blood and tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes. Her mind was filled with images of her interactions with Di Baiming. Gigolo, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been willful and playful. I shouldn't have thought that I was smart. If there is an afterlife, I would definitely make it up to you. I will never let you read to me again. I will never let you sing lullabies to me again. I would do whatever you say. The dark clouds in the sky continued to strike down lightning at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio was in so much pain that she could no longer feel anything. Right then, she only wanted to crawl to Di Baiming's side. Since she was going to die, then they would die together. If we were born, then we would be in the same bed. If we die, then we will die at the same point in time. We could not become husband and wife in this life, so in the next, we must meet early. We will have one heart and will never be separated. Chapter 670, Golden Seal. Another round of dense lightning struck down. Yun Chujia's veins and tendons had all exploded. Yun Chujia's blood was all over the ground, but she still struggled to move forward. Gigolo, you've protected me while I'm alive. Just wait for me, I will protect you on the road to hell. Yun Chujio moved forward inch by inch. Finally, her hand grabbed Di Baiming's hand. Blood and tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes. Di Baiming's originally long and strong hand had now become old and weak. The hand that had brought her so much warmth had become extremely cold. The last thought in Yun Chujia's heart shattered her. If the gigolo was really dead, then what was the point of her living? Yun Chujio raised her head with great effort and roared, Heavens! Heaven and earth are heartless and treat all things as dogs. Yet, you use your emotions to rule the world. Since you are so unfair, in the next life, I will definitely destroy you. In response to Yun Chujio, there were bolts of lightning, one of which struck Di Baiming's body. His silver hair was instantly turned into charcoal, and even his clothes were turned into ashes. Yun Chujio used the last of her strength to protect Di Baiming under her body. The blood in her eyes fell on Di Baiming's face. Gigolo, I'm coming to accompany you now. After saying that, Yun Chujio lay on Di Baiming's body. The last bit of hope was gone. She no longer had the will to live. She closed her eyes and waited for death to come. The strange grass in Yun Chujia's dantian was struggling to move its leaves. The great void mirror looked at it coldly and hit it hard. It was rare that the strange grass did not fight back. Instead, it pained and injected the life force in its body into Yun Chujia's body. Yun Chujia's ruptured meridians started to heal quickly. Yun Chujio soon realized that her meridians were healing rapidly. Then, they were ruptured, healed, and ruptured again. At first, she thought that she was hallucinating. After a few rounds, she could not help but laugh at herself. Even her death had to be a painful one. The pain of having her meridians ruptured was not something that an ordinary person could bear. Yun Chujio had a thought in her heart. She thought that Di Baiming was not dead yet, so she forced herself to stay awake. Then, the thought dissipated, and she fainted very quickly. The heavenly lightning continued to strike down. Yun Chujia's red clothes were finally turned into ashes. The blood that kept seeping out of her body dyed Di Baiming into a bloody man. Yun Chujia's blood kept dripping on Di Baiming's body. Suddenly, an ancient and complicated seal burst out from Di Baiming's body. the seal suddenly emitted a dazzling golden light. Not only did it block all the thunder tribulation, but a golden light pillar also shot straight into the sky. Most of the thick and heavy dark clouds were blasted into dust. A few of the surviving dark clouds also escaped. Under the golden light, Di Baiming's old face quickly changed back to his original appearance. Only then did the seal return to Di Baiming's body. The strange grass and the great void mirror in Yunchuji's dantian looked at each other while trembling. Strange grass gut were green with regret. From now on, I must make grass again. Sob sob, it was simply courting death in the past. The entire demon beast forest gradually returned to peace. And Feng hurriedly brought people to the place where they had left. However, strangely, he found that other than the scorched earth, there was no sign of his venerable self and Miss Jiu. Where did the two of them go? Chapter 671, We have become ghosts. The next day, the first ray of sunlight shone into the deep pit. Yun Chujio opened her eyes and was stunned for a moment. Where was she? Suddenly, the scene from the day before flashed in her mind. She hurriedly lowered her head and looked at Di Baiming, who had regained his youthful appearance. Yun Chujio was stunned at first. Then, she smiled bitterly and said, "It seems that we're really dead. This is the road to the netherworld, right? Otherwise, why would the gigolo have regained his youthful appearance? However, this may be good. The gigolo is so finicky. If we let him turn into a ghost with that old face, he will definitely be unhappy." Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming's face was covered in blood and wanted to help wipe it off. Subconsciously, she took out a handkerchief and clear water from her storage ring. Then, the guy was dumbfounded. Even if one turns into a ghost, can the storage ring be used? Is this a bonus? Forget it, let's help the gigolo clean up first. Yun Chujio was about to get off Di Baiming when he opened his eyes. Di Baiming was also stunned. He looked at Yun Chujio, whose face was covered in blood. "Little Jiu, are we dead?" Yun Chujio saw that Di Baiming had gained consciousness and started to howl. Sob sob. "Gigolo, I thought I couldn't hear you anymore. We are all ghosts now." Di Baiming raised his hand to help Yun Chujio wipe her tears. He realized that his hand had returned to its original form and believed Yun Chujio's words even more. It seemed that they had really become ghosts. "Gigolo, are you stupid? Why did you save me? You were courting death." Yun Chujio's tears fell. This girl was no longer called Prince Charming anymore. She had directly called him Gigolo. Since everyone was a ghost now, she was not afraid of him beating her up. Di Baiming's eyes were full of love. "There's no such thing as why. If I don't save you, who will?" Yun Chujio heard Di Baiming's words and howled even more fiercely. Sob sob. "Gigolo, I've let you down. It's all my fault. If I hadn't scolded that old bastard Heavens, it wouldn't have been so angry and you wouldn't have died. Gigolo, don't worry. In my next life, I'll definitely make it up to you. I'll sing a lullaby for you every day, and read books to you, okay?" Di Baiming raised his arm and touched Yun Chujio's little head. "Cough, cough, little bald head," he said with a deep smile, "okay. As long as we're together." The two of them could not help but kiss. Di Baiming turned over and pressed Yun Chujio under his body. Then, a certain part of his body recovered. Di Baiming was stunned. Yun Chujio was also stunned. The two of them realized that at that moment, both of them were naked. After the two of them were stunned for a moment, Yun Chujio screamed and pushed Di Baiming to the side. Then, she took out some clothes from her storage ring and put them on. Yun Chujio's face was burning. She did not dare to look back at Di Baiming for a long time. She was so embarrassed. Di Baiming's face was even redder. He quickly took out some clothes from his storage ring and put them on. The two of them did not speak for a long time. In the end, it was Yun Chujio who was more thick-skinned. She coughed dryly, ahem. My Prince Charming, there's no need to be embarrassed. It's not like I haven't seen it before. Di Baiming's face became even redder. Even his neck was red. He changed the topic in a panic, this. We have become ghosts. How can we still use the storage ring? I guess they feel that we died unjustly, so they gave us extra benefits. Di Baiming was stunned at first, then he laughed in a low voice, Little Jiu, we're not dead. We are still alive. Chapter 672, was supposed to treat me well. Yun Chujio also felt that she did not look like a ghost. Maybe, 80%. So she really did not die. Yun Chujio reached out and pinched Di Baiming's arm. Does it hurt? Di Baiming was speechless. Little Jiu, didn't we agree that you would make it up to me? Didn't we agree that you would listen to everything I say? Is this how you treat me well? Prince Charming, doesn't it hurt? Why don't I pinch you again? It hurts. If you don't believe me, try pinching yourself. Di Baiming quickly said when he saw that Yun Chujio was eager to make a move. Yun Chujio pouted. I'm not stupid. You said it hurts, why should I pinch myself? He was tongue-tied again. Yun Chujio's eyes turned red. She did not expect that they would still be alive. She would not waste this hard-earned chance to live. So what if it was the heavens? For the gigolo, for the Yun family, and for herself, she had to work hard to become stronger. She had to break all the shackles so that no one could control her fate. Di Baiming was also very emotional. He originally thought that he was strong enough, but in front of heavens, he appeared so weak. He had to work hard to cultivate. Prince Charming, tell me, why aren't we dead? Moreover, your appearance has recovered, and my veins are still intact, Yun Chujio said in confusion. Di Baiming was also puzzled. In short, it's good that we are still alive. Let's get out quickly. Yes. Oh right, Prince Charming, look, what are these? Yun Chujio pointed at the mineral veins on the side. Di Baiming only then noticed the mineral veins on the side and exclaimed, it's actually the main mineral vein. Yes, I don't know if there are other people outside, but we must keep it a secret. You should secretly send someone to mine all these ores, so that others won't benefit from it, Yun Chujio said sneakily. Di Baiming nodded. This mineral vein was very rare even in the Tianyuan continent. It was indeed a considerable fortune. The two of them simply used water to wipe off the blood stains on their faces and hands. Yun Chujio skillfully tied a handkerchief on her head and asked Di Baiming, Prince Charming, do you need a handkerchief to cover your head? Di Baiming smiled faintly, no worries, this will do. Yun Chujio curled her lips. Damn, so what if he was good-looking? The gigolo's bald head looked even more like it wanted to be trampled on, exuding a strong sense of restraint and lust. Sob sob. If I knew this would happen, I would have taken a few more glances just now. Such a good opportunity was actually wasted by her. What a pity, what a pity. However, she would have to take a bath when she went back. When that time came, she would definitely seize the opportunity to tease the gigolo. Di Baiming summoned his sword and grabbed Yun Chujio's waist. The two of them flew up. Anfeng was anxiously searching for Yun Chujio and Di Baiming with the others when he suddenly realized that his venerable self and Miss Jiu had appeared in front of everyone. It could be said that the two of them made a brilliant appearance, especially Di Baiming. His bald head was very dazzling under the reflection of the morning sun. Esteemed self, how did the two of you appear out of thin air? Anfeng asked in confusion. Di Baiming and Yun Chujio were stunned. They lowered their heads and realized that other than the scorched earth, there was no deep pit that they could have been in. Yun Chujio even deliberately stomped her feet. They were on the ground. The two of them were dumbfounded. What was going on? They had clearly flown up from the deep pit by riding their swords. How could it have suddenly disappeared? Chapter 673, Too Mysterious, Prince Charming, What's Going On? We clearly flew up from below. Yun Chuzhou felt that her brain ached as she could not keep up with what happened. Little Jiu, I'm afraid that the array formation there hasn't been completely destroyed by the heavenly lightning. It's also possible that there's more than one kind of array formation set up there. After we came out, the array formation automatically opened, so we can't go in again, Di Baiming said after thinking for a moment. Yun Chuzhou was completely in awe of the person who set up the formation. It was too awesome. Even under the bombardment of so many heavenly lightning bolts, it still functioned. This formation was too formidable. However, she immediately regretted leaving. If she had known earlier, she and the pretty boy would have dug more ore before flying away. Now, there was no way to go in again. Miss Jiu, how did you disappear before? An Feng asked curiously. I jumped down from Ada's back and felt a white flash of light. Then, I ended up in a cave. Guess what was inside? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. What's inside? There were more than 10 flaming three-tailed foxes inside. Theirs was also a Hui Chui mineral vein. I felt my mouth open wide from the shock. Yun Chuzhou said smugly. Di Baiming looked at the smiling Yun Chuzhou and finally heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. He was afraid that after such a calamity, little Jiu's temperament would change drastically and she would resort to extremes from then on. Fortunately, although she had experienced so much misfortune, other than being more tenacious, her personality was still bright and cheerful. Moreover, she still maintained a pure heart, which was gratifying. An Feng exclaimed in disbelief, "Ninth Miss, this is too unbelievable, isn't it? You. Are you joking?" Yun Chuzhou curled her lips and released a nest of flaming three-tailed foxes from her spirit beast bag. Although these flaming three-tailed foxes were unable to sense the situation outside while inside the spirit beast bag, they knew that the situation was very critical when they saw the fire-spitting crow and stone-eating rat trying their best to break out of the spirit beast bag to save their master. The flaming three-tailed fox king thought that the little girl would be struck to death by lightning, but it did not expect that she would survive. After being struck by lightning for a day and a night, she was still alive. Was she human? An Feng was immediately dumbfounded when he saw the flaming three-tailed foxes. Damn, the ninth miss actually met the flaming three-tailed foxes who was supposed to be part of her bluff. These were exotic beasts, and there were so many of them. This was too inconceivable. The flaming three-tailed fox's eyes were rolling around like black stones. This little girl would soar into the sky in the future. Should it acknowledge her as its master? It was only three-tailed now. If it did not seize the opportunity, it would probably stay three-tailed for the rest of its life. If it followed this little girl, it might awaken its latent powers and become a nine-tailed fox in the future. Just thinking about it made it very excited, right? Thinking of this, the flaming three-tailed fox king howled at Yun Chuzhou a few times before wagging its fluffy tail in a fawning manner. Yun Chuzhou thought that it was thanking her. She waved her hands at it and said, "No need to thank me. We can be considered friends. See you later." Yun Chuzhou held Di Baiming's arm and said, "Prince Charming, let's go back quickly. I think the sect leader and the rest will be very worried." Di Baiming nodded and the two of them walked out of the demonic beast forest. The flaming three-tailed fox king was anxious. It jumped in front of Yun Chuzhou and cried out. Yun Chuzhou was stunned. "Didn't I tell you? There's no need to thank me. You can go." Chapter 674, I don't want to take you in as a spirit pet. Seeing that Yun Chuzhou still didn't understand what it meant, the three-tailed fox king cried out anxiously. Di Baiming curled the corners of his mouth. "Little Jiu, I'm afraid that it wants to acknowledge you as its master." An Feng and the guards looked at Yun Chujiu enviously. TSK, look at the luck of Miss Jiu. The flaming three-tailed fox was an exotic beast that could grow even stronger. If it could grow 6 tails, it would be an immortal beast. Imagine if it grew 9. Why did they not encounter such good fortune themselves? However, they said that exotic beasts were very arrogant. Why did it look like it wanted to acknowledge Miss Jiu as its master? What made them even more confused was that they heard Yun Chujiu say, "You want to acknowledge me as your master? I already have 2 spiritual pets, I don't want to take in any more." When Yun Chujiu said this, she remembered that she still had a small mighty elephant in her spirit beast bag, so she asked An Feng, "Where are Ada and the others? I have to return the little elephant to them." "Miss Jiu, Ada, and the others are in charge of guarding the front. We will be able to see them in a while," An Feng answered after being stunned for a moment. An Feng thought to himself, "Miss Jiu, aren't you missing the main point? We can return the little elephant later. This flaming three-tailed fox is an exotic beast, and this particular one is the Fox King. It will surely get stronger in the future, so how can we reject it?" The flaming three-tailed Fox King also had a look of disbelief on his face. "I, the dignified Fox King, want to acknowledge you as my master. Shouldn't you be so grateful that tears would flow down your face? You indeed have 2 spiritual pets, but can an ugly fire-spitting crow and a weak, tailless stone-eating rat be compared to me?" When the Fox King saw that Yun Chujiu had walked forward, it did not have any intention of going back on its words. It was anxious. Regardless of whether it was a human or a beast, it took an effort to obtain the best things in life. Initially, it was still hesitating whether it should acknowledge Yun Chujiu as its master, but it had already made up its mind. It would do what it had to so Yun Chujiu became its master. It howled a few times at the other flaming three-tailed foxes, indicating that they could leave. Then, it chased after Yun Chujiu and the rest. Yun Chujiu continued chatting and laughing with Di Biming as if she had not seen him. The flaming three-tailed Fox King felt that his pride had suffered a serious blow, but he was unwilling to leave just like that. This king did not believe it. "I'll follow you until you accept me." After walking for about a quarter of an hour, Yun Chujiu saw 5 mighty elephants. When the mighty elephants saw Yun Chujiu, they were so happy that they kept swinging their huge trunks. They would have rolled Yun Chujiu up with their trunks and tossed her a few times where they were not afraid that Yun Chujiu would not be able to take it. Yun Chujiu released the baby elephants from the spiritual beast bag. The 5 mighty elephants kept stroking the baby elephants with their trunks, just like a human comforting a frightened child. Yun Chujiu was very grateful to these 5 mighty elephants. If it were not for them, she would have died at the hands of the black-clothed men. Also, they had helped her a lot when she killed Zhuo Piaoyu last time. The red bottle contains blood coagulation pills, and the white bottle contains exploding spirit pills. I'll give them to you. In the future, I'll often come to the demon beast forest to play with you. Yun Chujiu took out several bottles of supergrade blood coagulation pills and supergrade exploding spirit pills and wrapped them up with cloth. She hung them on Ada's tusks. Ada called out a few times gratefully and used his nose to gently touch Yun Chujiu. Then, he led the herd of elephants and walked away. The flaming three-tailed Fox King felt a sour feeling in its heart when it saw this. This little girl was amazing. She made the violent mighty elephants so docile. No matter what, it had to acknowledge her as its master. Chapter 675, Come Take a Bath. The flaming three-tailed Fox King followed closely behind Yun Chujiu, wagging its fiery red tail in a fawning manner. An Feng pursed his lips. "Damn, can you have some integrity? Wagging your tail. You're not a household dog, you're an exotic beast." Even after they left the demon beast forest, the flaming three-tailed Fox King still chased after them relentlessly, acting as if it would not take no for an answer. Yun Chujiu sighed. Sigh. I'm too kind. Since you are so sincere, I will take you in. However, if I take you in, you have to behave yourself. If you don't, I will starve you to death. The flaming three-tailed fox king hurriedly nodded. Letting Yun Chuzhou take it in was its greatest wish. Immediately, Yun Chuzhou bit her middle finger and dripped the blood into the mouth of the flaming three-tailed fox king. The fox king began to form a seal with its two front claws. A moment later, an ancient and complicated pattern of a contract appeared in the air and then disappeared between Yun Chuzhou's brows. I'll keep you. I have to give you a unique name. Little Black, Little Flame, Woolly Ball, Mickey Mouse, Strange Grass, Little Quiet. All these good names have been used. What name should I give you? Yun Chuzhou touched her chin and muttered to herself. The flaming three-tailed fox was suddenly filled with deep worry about its own name. Its master's skill in naming was really scary. I've got it. Your fur is red. You shall be called Little Red. Yun Chuzhou clapped her hands and said. The flaming three-tailed fox king immediately fainted. It was a dignified fox king, but it had such an embarrassing name from now on. Was it too late for it to regret now? Yun Chuzhou saw that the flaming three-tailed fox king had fainted and could not help but be stunned. She turned her head and asked Di Biming, Prince Charming, why did it faint? Could it be that it was excited because it's finally been given a name? Di Biming rubbed his nose and thought, excited? The flaming three-tailed king must have fainted from embarrassment. Fortunately, the name that the black thing gave their future child was still quite reliable. Yun Chuzhou put the fainted flaming three-tailed fox king, who was now known as Little Red, into her spirit beast bag. Only then did she follow Di Biming to board the flying spirit tool and return to the Spirit Radiance sect. When Master Xianyuan and the others saw that Yun Chuzhou had returned safely, they were naturally very happy. Even from the Spirit Radiance sect, they could hear the thunder that shook the sky in the demonic beast forest yesterday. One could imagine how dangerous it was. After a few simple conversations, Yun Chuzhou and Di Biming returned to the dormitory. Prince Charming, go outside and be on guard. I want to take a bath. My body is so dirty. Di Biming nodded and walked outside. Yun Chuzhou took out a bathtub and hot water from her storage ring and jumped in to take a good bath. She didn't know if it was an illusion, but her skin felt better. It had become white and tender, like a beautiful little beauty. After Yun Chuzhou finished taking a bath, she applied a hair growth pill on her head and took out a mirror to draw two eyebrows. Then, she got clean bathwater again and shouted to Di Biming, my dear Prince Charming, come in and take a bath. After Di Biming entered the room, he saw Yun Chuzhou standing at the side calmly. He could not help but frown, Little Jiu, you can go out now. Prince Charming, I said that I will treat you well. Let's start by serving you in the bath. I will help you take off your clothes. Yun Chuzhou stretched out her hands and reached for Di Biming's belt. Di Biming quickly dodged, no need, I can do it myself. You can go out now. Chapter 676, Our Mother is here, Prince Charming, you don't have to stand on ceremony. I'm happy to help you take a bath. Yun Chuzhou said with a sly look. Di Biming dodged a few times, but Yun Chuzhou was like a hunting dog chasing after its prey. Di Biming had no choice but to pick up the back of Yun Chuzhou's collar and drag her out of the door. Then, he closed the door. Yun Chuzhou snorted angrily, so what if you're tall? You always carry me around like a little child. Forget it. Do you think I'm willing to help you? I've already seen it a few times. Do you think I want to see more of it? Humph. Yun Chuzhou pouted and said angrily. An Feng and a few dark guards in the corner looked at each other and pretended to be deaf. They didn't hear anything. Yun Chuzhou glared at them and then took out a handkerchief to wrap her head. She had two small tails behind her, one sticking out and the other sticking out. Yun Chuzhou sat on the stone bench and recalled what had happened last night. After her tendons and veins had exploded, they had strangely healed. Then, they exploded and healed again. Could it be, Yun Chuzhou used her spiritual sense to look inside her dantian. She saw that the strange grass was drooping its head. The originally bright green leaves had become dark. The strange grass noticed Yun Chuzhou's gaze and formed two peach hearts out of the leaves. Strange grass, you saved me. The strange grass thought for a moment. Although it was not the one who saved the pretty boy, it was indeed the one who saved the stinky girl. Hence, it trembled and admitted it. Yun Chuzhou said with satisfaction, "Strange grass, I didn't expect your performance to be so good recently. I will not pursue the matter of you scamming me for the time being. Let's see your follow-up performance." The strange grass kept wagging its tail in an obsequious manner. Yun Chuzhou complimented it a few more times before withdrawing her spiritual sense. She couldn't help but wonder why the strange grass was so attentive. It was really strange. Yun Chuzhou thought of Di Baiming who was bathing in the house. Her heart was overcome with curiosity. She really wanted to peek at him. Therefore, she walked to the door and shouted, "Prince Charming, is the water cold? Do you need some hot water?" "No." Di Baiming's deep voice came from inside. "My Prince Charming, do you need me to wipe your back? I'm happy to help." "No need." Di Baiming's voice sounded like he was gnashing his teeth. My Prince Charming, I'm so dizzy. I want to go in and lie down for a while." "Don't worry, I'll go in with my eyes closed. You can wash yourself." Yun Chuzhou simply knocked open the door and rushed into the bedroom. Di Baiming did not expect Yun Chuzhou to be such a hooligan. She barged in and shouted angrily, "Black thing, get out of here right now, or I won't forgive you." Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, "My Prince Charming, why are you so excited? I can't do anything to you. Besides, it's not like I haven't helped you take a bath before. Come. I'll help you wipe your back." Di Baiming was about to imprison Yun Chuzhou, this thick-skinned girl, when he heard Feng shouting in panic, "My lord, Miss Zhou, the palace mistress is here." Yun Chuzhou and Di Baiming were stunned. Yun Chuzhou looked at Di Baiming's shoulder reluctantly. "Old hag, why did you come at this time? I'm so angry." "Prince Charming, take your time to wash up. I'll go out and have a good chat with our mother." Yun Chuzhou jumped out with a smile. Chapter 677, Does my new hairstyle look good? When Di Baiming heard Yun Chuzhou say, "our mother," he felt a warm sensation in his heart. Then, he recalled the palace mistress' reaction when she found out about little Zhou's accident. He felt that perhaps the relationship between the two of them could be improved. Moreover, his body was indeed too dirty. Therefore, after he activated the protective array, he planned to finish his shower before meeting his mother. When Yun Chuzhou left the house, she saw a luxurious flying spirit tool flying over. A moment later, the flying spirit tool landed. The cabin door opened, and 8 beautiful women came out. After laying the snow-white carpet, Manager Luo helped the palace mistress off the flying spirit tool. Although Yun Chuzhou did not like it, she still had to have basic manners. She smiled and bowed. "Hello, palace mistress. I haven't seen you for a few days, and you look even more beautiful now. Do you have a beauty formula? Otherwise, why are you getting more and more beautiful?" The palace mistress was secretly happy. She had always been very confident in her beauty. She said arrogantly, "There is no beauty formula, it's just natural beauty." "Yun Chuzhou, pretty boy, I finally know who you learned your narcissism from." The palace mistress saw that Yun Chuzhou was still alive. She was very disappointed. "Didn't you say that something happened to you? Where's Baiming?" After hearing that something happened to Yun Chuzhou from Di Baiming, the palace mistress was happy. She felt that it was better to personally confirm it. What if the little bastard lied to her? Now that she saw that Yun Chujio was alive and kicking, she was even more certain that Di Biming was lying to her. She felt even more displeased with Yun Chujio. It was all because of this little trash. Otherwise, why would Biming behave so differently recently? How hateful. When Yun Chujio heard what the palace mistress said, she cursed in her heart. You old witch, judging from your tone, why do you wish for her to die? Yun Chujio did not say anything since she was unhappy. Manager Luo placed a piece of snow-white cloth on the stone table and took out a chair with exquisite workmanship. He also took out a pot of tea and poured a cup of tea for the palace mistress. After the palace mistress sat down, she picked up the teacup and took a sip of the tea. When she saw that Yun Chujio had not answered her, she condescendingly looked at Yun Chujio. Huh? Why is this little girl so much fairer than last time? But, what the hell is this bandage on her head? What is this bandage on your head? What kind of strange clothes are you wearing? You are so petty. I have a handkerchief on my head. Isn't it a rather unique style, especially those two little tails? Aren't they very cute? Yun Chujio said with a smile. The palace mistress curled her lips in disdain. Chic. Cute. You might as well wear gold on your face. It's simply nondescript. Hurry up and take it off. Palace mistress, do you really want me to take it off? Yun Chujio asked with a smile. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Hurry up and take it off. It's really an eyesore. The palace mistress simply found Yun Chujio displeasing and took the opportunity to find fault with her. Yun Chujio sighed. You really want me to take it off? The palace mistress snorted. Why? Are you trying to go against me? Yun Chujio smiled sweetly at her and then abruptly took off the handkerchief. La la la. Palace mistress, do you think my new hairstyle is shiny? The tea in the palace mistress' mouth spurted out in a puff. Fortunately, Yun Chujio dodged fast enough, otherwise, she would have been drenched in tea. Chapter 678, He wanted to give you a surprise. Yun Chujio looked at Manager Luo with displeasure. Manager Luo, how can you pour such hot tea for the palace mistress? Look at how hot it is. Manager Luo knew that Yun Chujio was giving the palace mistress a way out, so he could only say, Mistress, this servant recognizes his failings and will be sure to correct it, this servant will pour it for you again. The palace mistress took out a handkerchief to wipe the corner of her mouth and waved her hand, it's none of your business. Little trash, you are simply, the palace mistress was so angry that she did not know what to say. However, on second thought, not that this little trash had become bald Biming might get tired of her. The uglier she was, the better. Palace mistress, do you also think that my new hairstyle is very shiny? This is the symbol of wisdom. As the saying goes, a smart head doesn't have hair. Yun Chujio said mischievously. Palace mistress, Manager Luo, the 8 maids, and Feng and the others who were speechless in the corner, the palace mistress had huge doubts about her son's vision. Son, in your path to adulthood, have you gone astray somewhere? Why do you like such thick-skinned trash? Your taste is too unique. Madam Palace Mistress, do you think what I said makes sense? Come, don't just stand there, I'll pour you a cup of tea. Drinking tea is so monotonous. Manager Luo, bring out 2 plates of desserts. Yun Chujio sat across from the palace head's wife where she shamelessly took out a teacup, poured herself a cup of tea, and sipped on it. Manager Luo had not recovered from Yun Chujio's words just now, and had taken out 2 plates of pastries from her storage ring and placed them on the stone table. As soon as Manager Luo put down the pastries, Yun Chujio happily reached out her hands and picked up a piece of pastry. As she ate, she said, Mrs. Palace Master, your pastries taste really good. Don't stand on ceremony. Eat some too. And Feng, who was in the corner, felt that green smoke was coming out of Mrs. Palace Master's head. He lit a candle for her in his heart. Even though they were so worrisome, they were still tortured by Miss Jiao to the point of speechlessness. You are just asking for trouble. The palace mistress took a deep breath. Little trash, where's Bei Ming? Yun Chujiu did not say a word. This old witch and the pretty boy were indeed from the same family. One called her little trash, and the other called her black thing. Both of them were not good people. Little trash, let me ask you. Where's Bei Ming? The palace mistress slammed the table. You mean Brother Bai Ming? Brother Bai Ming is in the house. He wanted to give you a surprise, so he has been hiding in the house. You should call out to him, I'm sure he'll come out. Yun Chujiu took a mouthful of snacks and a mouthful of tea. It was so nourishing. The palace mistress was stunned. Give her a surprise. What surprise? Bai Ming had always had a poker face since he was young. He had never said anything about giving her a surprise. Could it be that he was trying to please her because of this little trash? Although the palace mistress did not show it on the surface, she was looking forward to it. She called out to the house, Bai Ming, come out for a moment. Bai Ming had just finished showering when he heard the palace mistress calling out to him. After tidying up briefly, he pushed open the door and walked out. The palace mistress immediately saw Bai Ming's shiny bald head. She thought that she had seen something wrong and took a closer look before jumping up from her chair in shock. Bai Ming. Where's your hair? Why did you become bald? Chapter 679. My mother likes you very much in her heart. Bai Ming felt very gratified when he saw the palace mistress and Yun Chujiu sitting together eating snacks. He felt that if he said that his hair had been struck by lightning, the palace mistress would vent her anger on Yun Chujiu, so he said, Mother, the weather has been a little hot recently, so I changed my hairstyle. The palace mistress was so angry that she was trembling. She pointed at Yun Chujiu and scolded, Little trash. Tell me. Was this your doing? Bai Ming usually pays attention to his image, but I didn't expect him to be influenced by a little trash like you and turned into a bald man. I must beat you to death today. Yun Chujiu quickly jumped behind Bai Ming. She revealed her little head and said pitifully, Palace mistress, you wronged me. Not only did I not influence Brother Bai Ming, but he was the one who influenced me to shave all my hair. I'm just a girl. I won't be able to see anyone in the future. You're spouting nonsense. Why would Bai Ming come up with such a stupid idea? It must be because a little trash like you was afraid that other girls would go after Bai Ming, so you influenced him to shave all his hair. I'm going to slap you to death today. The palace mistress was so angry that she was about to explode. Mom! Little Jiao is right. This was all my idea. Besides, if you apply the hair growth pill, your hair will grow back in a few days. Why are you so angry? Didn't you and little Jiao have a good chat just now? Bai Ming defended Yun Chujiu behind him and said helplessly. I had a good chat with her. Bai Ming, no wonder you fell in love with this little trash. There is something wrong with your eyes. The palace mistress returned to her seat angrily. Yun Chujiu took out a handkerchief and tied it on her head. She pulled Bai Ming to sit beside the stone table. Palace mistress, please don't be angry. Let's continue drinking tea and chat. By the way, that snack is quite delicious. When you leave some for me and Brother Bai Ming. The palace mistress glared at Yun Chujiu fiercely. Eat, eat, eat. What else can you do besides eating? You little trash, I want to see where you'll end up in 5 years. Not only was Yun Chujiu not angry, she was actually moved. Brother Bai Ming, I told you that your mother is a sharp tongue but soft heart, right? She said that she hated me and so on, but in fact, she was very concerned about me. She was afraid that I wouldn't be able to complete the mission if I didn't cultivate properly. She urged me at any time and place. I was touched. Palace Mistress, don't worry, I will work hard in my cultivation and strive to enter the top 100 of the Tianyuan Academy's prodigy roll as soon as possible. When that time comes, I will be filial to you. The Palace Mistress was shocked by Yun Chujia's delusions. She had never seen anyone with such thick skin among the people she had come into contact with. Were it was any other girl, she would have covered her face and wept long ago. This fellow was good. Not only was she not overwhelmed with grief and indignation, she was even able to turn black and white upside down. She was trying to make herself look good. She was too shameless. Di Baiming saw the Palace Mistress' shocked expression and could not help but laugh in his heart. However, he said with a serious expression, "Yup. Little Jiu, what you said makes sense. My mother likes you very much in her heart, but she doesn't know how to express it." The Palace Mistress looked at Di Baiming with a shocked expression. Is this still my son who never smiles? Why is it so natural for him to lie through his teeth? Brother Baiming, I know. Actually, I like elders like the Palace Mistress the most. I will not let down the Palace Mistress' painstaking efforts. I will definitely cultivate well and try my best to fulfill the Palace Mistress' request as soon as possible. When that time comes, we will be able to be filial to the Palace Mistress together. Yun Chujio said with a bright smile. Chapter 680. Once he has found a wife, he would forget about his own mother. When the Palace Mistress saw Di Baiming and Yun Chujio chiming in, she was so angry that she wanted to brush her sleeves and leave. However, when she heard Yun Chujio say the word filial, she had a new idea, hence, she said indifferently, "Little trash, are you just saying that? Do you truly want to be filial to me?" Yun Chujio nodded obediently, "Of course I meant it sincerely. Do you have something you want me to do? My shoulder is a little sore. Help me massage it." The Palace Mistress said coldly. She thought to herself, "He'll torture you. If you're mad at me, I don't believe that Bei Ming will still protect you. Massage your shoulders. Sure, I'm the best at it. I often massage Brother Bei Ming's shoulders." Yun Chujio did not hesitate at all. She stood up and walked behind the Palace Mistress and began massaging her. "Didn't you just finish your snack? Use more strength. Are you trying to kill me? Be gentle. Go down a little. Are you massaging my shoulders or my neck? Go up a little. I asked you to massage my shoulders, not my waist." The Palace Mistress was pure-hearted and kept picking on Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio was all smiles and did not refute her words. She was extremely obedient. Di Baiming could not stand it anymore and said, "Mother. If your shoulders are not feeling well, get a maid to help you. How would little Jiu know how to make it feel better? Little Jiu, stop massaging it. Sit down and chat with my mother." The Palace Mistress was so angry that she gritted her teeth. "How is this my son? I have simply raised an ingrate. Once he has found a wife, he would forget about his own mother." Yun Chujio said with a smile, "Brother Baiming, it's all right. I can't learn from this. For the sake of being filial to the Palace Mistress, I am willing to try no matter how tired I am." The Palace Mistress was so angry that her liver hurt. Although this little trash's spiritual power was not that great, she was too scheming. Even my foolish son would not be able to win against her. Forget it. There's no need for you. Didn't you say that you know how to grill meat? Since I'm hungry, why don't you grill some meat for me to eat? The Palace Mistress intentionally wanted to torment Yun Chujio. "All right. My skills in roasting meat are very good. You'll see." Yun Chujio agreed and started to get busy like a hard-working little bee. The two little tails behind Yun Chujio's head trembled and Di Baiming's heart softened. Little Jiu's thoughts were clear and she would definitely be able to see that his mother was intentionally making things difficult for her, but she still tried her best to please his mother. It must be because she cared about his feelings. When the palace mistress saw Di Biming looking at Yun Chuzhou lovingly, her heart felt even more stifled. This little trash did not play by the rules at all. She thought that if she were to make things difficult for her, she would definitely go against her like last time. She did not expect that this time, she would be obedient. How troublesome. Yun Chujia's hands and feet were very nimble, and in a short while, she had roasted a wind-blade rabbit. She used a large kitchen knife to slice the rabbit meat thinly and gave it to the palace mistress. Palace mistress, when I roasted it, I specially brushed it with eupatorium honey. Try it. How does it taste? Initially, the palace mistress did not want to eat it, but when she smelled the alluring aroma of the roasted meat, she could not help but pick up a piece and put it into her mouth. This rabbit meat was roasted perfectly. It was crispy on the outside but tender on the inside. The sweetness of the honey was just right to neutralize the grease of the roasted meat. Unconsciously, the palace mistress ended up eating several pieces. Palace mistress, my roasted meat is not bad, right? Yun Chuzhou asked with a smile. The palace mistress only reacted when she heard Yun Chujia's question. She embarrassedly put down her chopsticks and said, "It's all right. Bei Ming, follow me to the Tian Yuan continent immediately. I have something for you to do." Chapter 681, Holding Hands and Growing Old Together. Di Biming frowned slightly. "Mother, I'll go back in a few days. You should go back first. Also, you should try not to come to little Jiu's place in the future. I'm afraid that the things that happened back then will happen again." When the palace mistress heard Di Biming mention the things that happened back then, her expression became a little sorrowful. "Biming, mother is afraid that the history might repeat itself. That's why I strongly oppose you dating this little trash. Once something unfortunate happened, not only will she be unable to help you, she will also become a burden to you. She will even become your weakness." Di Biming's expression became solemn. "Mother. Don't mention this again in the future. Not to mention little Jiu's amazing talent, she is not trash at all. Even if her spiritual power is really low, I don't think she is a burden. Since I like her, I have the responsibility to protect her and support her." Yun Chujia's heart warmed when she heard Di Biming's words. She stood up from the stone bench, straightened her back, and said, "Brother Biming, I used to be mischievous and aloof. I didn't cultivate properly. Don't worry. From today onwards, I will definitely work hard. I will not become a burden to you. I want to stand side by side with you. No matter what difficulties and obstacles are ahead, we will face them together. I will hold your hand and grow old together with you. I will definitely not let you down." Di Biming and Yun Chujia's eyes met, and their eyes were filled with affection. "Enough. What you said sounded pretty good. We'll see in 5 years. Biming, you have to come back with me today, or else, I won't be leaving. It's a good opportunity for the little trash to be filial to me." The palace mistress looked at the young couple and suddenly thought of the past between her and Di Linhan. The two of them were on good terms. Logically speaking, as a mother, she should not break up the couple, but this little trash was really not suitable for Biming. For his sake, she could not be soft-hearted. Di Biming frowned and was about to say something when Yun Chuzhou said, "Brother Biming, you should go back with the palace mistress. I have just advanced to the first level of the Spirit Emperor realm. It's a good opportunity for me to cultivate for a period of time to stabilize my abilities." Seeing how serious Yun Chuzhou was, Di Biming thought that he had indeed stayed in the Azure Mystic Continent for a very long time, hence, he nodded. "All right, then I will come back to see you in a few days. Take good care of yourself. Keep these few concealment talismans and sudden rupture talismans. However, the sudden rupture talismans are extremely powerful. You must be careful when you use them. Don't hurt yourself." The palace mistress felt a little sour in her heart. This son of hers could usually solve a problem with just one word. He would never say 2 words. She did not expect that he would become a chatterbox in front of this little trash. Moreover, concealment talismans and sudden rupture talismans were not things that could be bought with money, yet he was willing to part with them so easily. However, this little trash had broken through to the first level of the Spirit Emperor realm. Why did she look like she was still at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm? Perhaps she was trying to deceive her by playing a double act with Biming. After the palace mistress and Biming left, Yun Chujio waved at Anfeng. Anfeng ran over and asked, "Ninth Miss, what can I do for you? Have you found out about the background of those men in black? Are they from the Heaven Gate sect?" Yun Chujio thought about it in the cave. Only the Heaven Gate sect would be able to gather 12 people at the level of Spirit Emperor realm to kill her. "Miss Jiu, those people are indeed the elders of the Heaven's Gate sect in disguise. Your Excellency originally wanted us to kill them all. Later, he felt that it was better for you to deal with them yourself, so he didn't touch them for the time being." Yun Chujio nodded. "That's the right thing to do. If you kill people, you will inevitably be punished by the heavens. I will deal with my own enemies by myself. Let them run around for a few more days. When I am fully prepared, I will not let any of them go." Chapter 682, The Chimeric Plains. In the following month, Yun Chujio spent all her time cultivating in the courtyard, reinforcing what she learned so far. However, Yun Chujio was now faced with a difficult problem. She couldn't cultivate in seclusion all the time. She had to have actual combat experience to further improve. Just because the Heaven's Gate sect did not manage to kill her last time does not mean they would give up so easily. As long as she kept moving about to gain experience, they would definitely send people to kill her. What should she do? She couldn't always let Elder Shao and the others protect her when she left the Spirit Radiance sect grounds to gain experience, right? What would she learn from always relying on others? Yun Chujio gritted her teeth. Cultivation was full of dangers to begin with. She had always been timid. When would she be able to grow? She had to face the difficulties head-on. Thus, she went to find Master Xianyuan and told him about her thoughts. "Master Xianyuan, I plan to leave the grounds to train. This time, I plan to go alone and quietly in case I am targeted by the people of the Heaven's Gate sect again." Master Xianyuan immediately shouted, "Nonsense. If anything happens to you, there would be no way for the rest of us to find out. Anfeng will go with me. The fewer people there are, the smaller the target. Besides, I plan to go to the Chimeric Plains to train. That place is tens of thousands of miles away. The hands of the Heaven's Gate sect might not be able to reach that far. The Chimeric Plains? The demonic beasts there are extremely ferocious and the weather there is terrible. Why did you choose that place?" Master Xianyuan asked in confusion. "Firstly, that place is not within the sphere of influence of the 4 great sections. The Heaven's Gate sect will not discover that I went there for training. Secondly, it is precisely because the demonic beasts there are ferocious and the weather there is terrible that it can increase my actual combat ability. Master Xianyuan, don't worry. I cherish my life very much. I will not act recklessly." Yun Chujio's gaze was firm. It was obvious that she had made up her mind. Master Xianyuan nodded. Little Jiu's Dao heart was stronger than before after experiencing these changes. This little girl would soar to the sky sooner or later, should let her be. "All right. Since you've made up your mind, I won't stop you. Keep this ring well. As long as you wear it, no one below the 5th level of the Spiritual Emperor realm will discover your true gender." Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. This ring suited her well. "Thank you, Master Xianyuan. The matter of me going out to train must be kept a secret. Tell the others that I'm in closed-door cultivation." After Master Xianyuan agreed, Yun Chujio hopped back to her dormitory. Since she was going out on a long journey, she naturally had to make sufficient preparations. Other than some daily necessities, after Yun Chujio activated the isolation array in the courtyard, she refined several bottles of heaven-grade blood coagulation pills and exploding spirit pills. In the end, she and Feng activated their concealment talismans and slipped out of the spirit radiance sect without anyone noticing. After the two of them were some distance away from the spirit radiance sect, Feng summoned his flying spirit tool and the two of them flew towards the chimeric plains. Yun Chujio and Feng had both disguised themselves. Yun Chujio had disguised herself as a young boy, and Feng's appearance had also been changed by Yun Chujio. Unless someone carefully identified them, they would not be able to recognize their true identities. Half a month later, the flying spirit tool arrived at the chimeric plains. As the name implied, the chimeric plains climate was extremely strange. One moment it was still sunny, and the next moment, it was likely to be filled with snow. Therefore, the nature of the demonic beasts on the chimeric plains was extremely savage. They were much more powerful than the demonic beasts of the same level in the demonic beast forest. Chapter 683, all about pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Although the name of chimeric plains had the word plains, it was in fact, not the only type of terrain there. There were high mountains, forests, and rivers. It was more like a hidden world isolated from the rest of the globe. After Yun Chujio and Feng landed, Feng put away the flying spirit tool. Feng, from now on, no matter whether you encounter demon beasts or cultivators, unless my life is in danger, don't help me, Yun Chujio said to Feng after adjusting her spiritual power level to the second level of spirit cultivator. Feng nodded. He took out a hidden spirit ring from his storage ring and put it on. After thinking for a while, he also adjusted his spiritual power level to the second layer of the spirit cultivator realm. Feng had long wanted to experience the feeling of pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. He finally had the chance. The outer area of the chimeric plains was still relatively calm. There were only some low-level demonic beasts. Yun Chujio couldn't be bothered to pay attention to them and continued to walk inside. The weather of the chimeric plains was indeed strange. The two of them had walked less than 10 miles when suddenly, heavy snowfall started to fall from the sky. This was the first time Yun Chujio had seen snow since she transmigrated, and she couldn't help but feel a little excited. Along the way, she jumped up and down happily. The plants of the chimeric plains had also adapted to such unpredictable weather. The plants bloomed, and the fruits that were supposed to bear fruit were not affected by the snow at all. Yun Chujio was not afraid of being poisoned to death. When she saw wild fruits, she plucked them and stuffed them into her mouth. She felt that coming out to gain real-world experience was much better than staying in the Spirit Radiance sect. Yun Chujio also released Little Black Bird and Little Black Rat, letting them play outside. It was also a good opportunity for them to gain some experience against the enemy. When the flaming three-tailed fox king saw that the two had been released, it implored Yun Chujio, "Master, this king also wants to go out for a walk. Little Red, your three tails are too eye-catching. What if they attract high-level cultivators?" Every time the three-tailed fox king heard the name Little Red, it felt its balls shrink. It took a deep breath and said, "Master, I can hide one of my tails. That way, people will think that I'm a two-tailed fox and won't care." "Oh, you have that ability? It turns out that the 3 beats that I took in are all fakes," Yun Chujio said as she released the flaming three-tailed fox king. As expected, the flaming three-tailed fox king only had 2 tails left. It was just that the color of its fur was a little brighter than the usual two-tailed scarlet flame fox. There was no difference in other things. Moreover, its spiritual power level had also become a corresponding level 4. The flaming three-tailed fox king looked down on Little Black Rat and Little Black Bird. It simply could not understand why its master wanted to take in these 2 idiots. One was an ugly Tier 3 fire-breathing crow, while the other was a Tier 3 stone-eating rat that only knew how to chew on ores. It was simply too weak. It could not even be compared to 1/10,000 of this king's power. Little Black Bird had long disliked this smelly fox. It clearly looked down on him. Just you wait, I'll let you know how powerful I am is sooner or later. After Yun Chuzhou advanced, Little Black Bird also broke through to become a Tier 8 demon beast. However, he was the same as Yun Chuzhou. Others could not see its true spiritual power level, so he lowered himself to a Tier 3 fire-breathing crow. Little Black Rat looked like a Tier 3 demonic beast, but it was very low-key. Little Black Rat secretly said to Little Black Bird, "Little Black Bird, gee, that stinky fox is nothing special. It barks so much every day. You better teach it a lesson. Don't worry, I will help you. I will support you spiritually." Little Black Bird. Chapter 684, I leave this to you. 3. Yun Chuzhou noticed the commotion amongst the three of them. She pretended not to see it and let them show off. "I'll find a chance to teach you a lesson." The three of them were not interested in low-level demon beasts. They urged Yun Chuzhou to leave as soon as possible so that they could meet high-level demon beasts to show off their skills. However, the chimeric plains was too big. It was not until noon the next day that Yun Chuzhou and the others met a group of 5th-level fire-breathing ash wolves. There were a total of 15 fire-breathing ash wolves. They surrounded Yun Chuzhou and the others aggressively, their eyes filled with greed. The flaming three-tailed fox king looked at the fire-breathing ash wolves with disdain. "Master, they are no match for me. I can deal with 5 of them by myself. I am much stronger than those 2. Yun Chuzhou smiled evilly. "Didn't you guys want to practice before? I leave this to you 3. Anfeng and I will not fight. We will cheer for you from inside the spiritual energy shield. You guys can count on yourselves." After saying that, Yun Chuzhou took out a protective disc. After opening it, she took out a spirit fruit and ate it leisurely while she watched the show. "What? Master? That's not like you. I can only deal with 5 of them. The 2 of them together can't even defeat one of those fire-breathing ash wolves. Aren't you sending us to our deaths?" The flaming three-tailed fox king anxiously cried out. Little Black Bird looked at the fox king with disdain. After flying up, it opened its mouth and threw a huge fireball at a fire-breathing ash wolf. Although the fire-breathing ash wolf managed to dodge it, it was frightened by the lightning power contained in the fireball. The flaming three-tailed fox king's black stone-like eyes went a little dull. How could this ugly fire-breathing crow spit out such a huge fireball? And it contained the power of lightning? How was this possible? Seeing that Little Black Bird was so difficult to deal with, those fire-breathing ash wolves turned their attention to the flaming three-tailed fox king. Since the fire-breathing crow did not have much meat, they might as well eat the flaming three-tailed fox king in front of them. Thus, they surrounded the fox king and trapped him. The Little Black Bird flew in the air and shouted proudly, "Hey, smelly fox, do you need my help?" The flaming three-tailed fox king snorted coldly, "I can handle it myself, there's no need for your pity." Little Black Bird snorted and landed on a nearby tree. "Since that's the case, I'll stay here and watch the show. Let's see how you fight a pack of wolves. If you can't hold on any longer, let me know. I'm very magnanimous, I'll definitely help you." The flaming three-tailed fox king wished that Little Black Bird would immediately come over to help. Unfortunately, since he had already turned him down, he could only force himself to say, "It's a small matter, watch how I'll deal with them." Little Black Rat had already dug a hole and hid. "This kind of fighting and killing was not suitable for me. I'll just give them moral support." "Miss Joe, aren't you going to help them?" Anfeng thought to himself. What kind of master raised what kind of spirit beast? However, it seemed that among the 3 of them, the most shrewd fox was the dumbest. Yun Chujiu said to Enfeng while chewing on the fruit, let's wait and see. These three silly munchkins of mine look stupid, but in fact, they all have their own ideas. They actually have the mind to bicker in front of a great enemy. It's not a bad idea to teach them a lesson. Chapter 685, Little Black Rat, do you have any other abilities? At this moment, the flaming three-tailed fox king's heart was on the verge of collapse. Although it was powerful, it could only deal with 5 of them. There was no way it could win against 15. However, since it had run its mouth, it couldn't possibly ask that ugly bird for help, right? The flaming three-tailed fox king rolled its eyes and suddenly jumped. With a whoosh, it leaped over the body of a fire-breathing ash wolf and instantly escaped the encirclement. A-woo! 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 Flaming three-tailed fox king roared. A few of the fire-breathing ash wolves began to look confused. The flaming three-tailed fox king took the chance and threw a fireball at one of them. A fire-breathing ash wolf was hit by the fireball. It screamed and rolled on the ground. The fox king did not have the time to be proud. Several fireballs were thrown at it. The three-tailed fox king moved left and right. In the beginning, it was very agile. While it was dodging the fire-breathing ash wolves' attacks, it could occasionally retaliate. However, as time passed, it gradually grew tired. If it had not accepted a master, it would have escaped long ago. Although it could not beat the fire-breathing ash wolves, it would have no problem escaping. However, now, it had returned in defeat after being assigned a mission by its master for the first time. It was too embarrassing. Therefore, the flaming three-tailed fox king could only hold on bitterly. Little Black Bird rolled his eyes. Although he could not stand the three-tailed fox's pretense, he could not just stand by and do nothing. Thus, he flapped his wings and flew over, throwing a huge fireball at the wolf pack. The flaming three-tailed fox king felt very conflicted when he saw Little Black Bird taking the initiative to help. However, he did not have the time to think too much in the face of a great enemy. He roused his spirit and threw himself into the battle. The bird and the fox gradually began to cooperate. After an hour, they had killed 7 of the fire-breathing ash wolves. However, the 2 of them were a little exhausted. Moreover, Little Black Bird could not fly too low. Those fire-breathing ash wolves could leap 30 feet high. If he were not careful, they might swallow Little Black Bird whole. Miss Joe, I'm afraid they won't be able to hold on any longer. Aren't you going to make your move? Enfeng asked Yun Chujiu, who was calm and composed when he saw that Little Black Bird and the flaming three-tailed fox king were at a disadvantage. What's the hurry? Isn't there another one hiding in the cave? Yun Chujiu pointed at Little Black Rat, who was poking its head out of the cave. Miss Joe, are you kidding me? What else can that stone-eating rat do besides gnawing on ore? Its combat strength is almost negligible, right? Enfeng asked amusingly. I used to think so too, but I think this little thing must be hiding a lot of things from me. Let's see. I have a heaven-grade blood coagulation pill here. It doesn't matter even if Little Red is injured, Yun Chujiu said with a smile. Enfeng lit a candle in his heart for the flaming three-tailed fox king. Little Red, who asked you to treat your master this way? This is karma. Little Black Bird saw that the flaming three-tailed fox king was about to give up, so he was a little anxious. Therefore, he took the risk of flying lower to increase the accuracy of the fireballs. In a moment of carelessness, he was bitten by a fire-breathing ash wolf and fell to the ground. Just as Yun Chujiu was about to help, she saw a black shadow jump in front of Little Black Bird. It was Little Black Rat. The fire-breathing ash wolf that bit Little Black Bird was about to swallow him when it saw Little Black Rat suddenly appear in front of it. Its eyes were filled with disdain, but having more food was a good thing, hence, it opened its bloody mouth and bit Little Black Rat. Yun Chujio raised her right hand and was about to kill the fire-breathing ash wolf, but Little Black Rat's next move stunned her. Chapter 686. The rat had another ability. Yun Chujio saw that after Little Black Rat jumped up, it stretched out its front paw and attacked the fire-breathing ash wolf. Yun Chujio could not bear to look. Your little paw hitting the fire-breathing ash wolf would probably feel like a tickle. I thought you had some special ability. It turned out that it only tried to physically attack the wolf. Yun Chujio was afraid that it would be at a disadvantage, so she wanted to help, but what happened next surprised her. The fire-breathing ash wolf was sent flying more than 100 feet by Little Black Rat's slap, and it fainted with a choking sound. Yun Chujio's eyes were wide open. My goodness, how could such a small rat have so much strength? Yun Chujio threw a heaven-grade blood coagulation pill to Little Black Bird, and then said to Little Black Rat, who seemed to glow now, Mickey Mouse, you did well. Keep working hard. I'll reward you with a piece of hazy ore in a while. Little Black Rat saw Little Black Bird fly up again, squeaked a few times, and rushed toward the fire-breathing ash wolf pack. An hour later, after the concerted efforts of the 3 silly munchkins, the fire-breathing ash wolf pack was annihilated. They did not understand what had happened until they died. How did 3 low-level spiritual beasts beat so many of us? It was simply a death that was too embarrassing to accept. The flaming 3-tailed fox king listlessly followed behind Little Black Bird and Little Black Rat. It felt ashamed at its arrogance earlier. These two were like wolves in sheep's clothing. Both of them were stronger than me. Woo-woo, this king was too ashamed. Yun Chujio was suddenly interested in Little Black Rat. Mickey Mouse, you're really good at hiding things. You have such great strength, but you did not tell your master about it. It makes master sad. Little Black Rat said softly, Master, I only awakened my innate ability a few days ago after I advanced. Moreover, my ancestors told me that girls cannot be too cruel. Otherwise, they will not be able to marry. Yun Chujio, little sister Mickey Mouse, you don't have to worry. Big brother thinks that you were simply beautiful just now. There will be many beasts that will like a girl like you. Little Black Bird blinked his pizzazed eyes and said. Cough cough. This king feels that a girl like you is the true beauty amongst beasts. If there is no beast to marry you, this king will marry you. The flaming 3-tailed fox king casually said to express his gratitude. Little Black Bird immediately exploded. Fuck, this is the sweetheart that I won over myself. Now you're trying to steal her away. I'll fight it out with you. The flaming 3-tailed fox king was shocked by Little Black Bird's sudden brutality. What was going on? Weren't they fighting side by side just now? Why did they suddenly turn against each other? What did I do wrong? Yun Chujio was about to cry from the stupidity of the flaming 3-tailed fox king. There was no one else who could as stupid as this fox. Speaking of which, how did it become the fox king in the first place? Could it be that this intelligence was the smartest among the group? Yun Chujio could not be bothered with those 3 clowns. She put away the fire-breathing ash wolves' corpses on the ground and continued to walk forward. And Fong felt a wave of envy in his heart. TSK, look at 9th Mississippi. It was one thing if she had a heavenly thunder spirit root, but she actually had 3 such awesome spirit pets. Although they were not particularly strong now, but in time, those 3 silly munchkins would become real monsters. Senior brother Helion, that 2-tailed scarlet flame fox's fur is too beautiful. Go and catch it for me. I want to use its fur to make a cloak. Junior sister Lianxin, just you wait. Senior brother will help you catch that little bastard right now. Yun Chujio felt thunder rolling in the sky. Were there really such stupid people in this world? He wanted to catch someone else's spirit pet in front of the owner. They had it coming for them. Chapter 687, Asking for a Beating. Yun Chujio turned around and saw 6 people behind her made up of 5 young men escorting a woman. The woman's face was delicate and her figure was graceful, but the arrogant look on her face really made people dislike her. "I'm sorry, this two-tailed scarlet flame fox is my spiritual pet. Please don't do anything to it." Yun Chujio saw that there was a pattern depicting a goshawk embroidered on the lower left corner of the 6 people's clothes, so she felt that these people might be from the same group. It was better not to make enemies, so she spoke politely. The woman saw Yun Chujio turn around and saw that she and Feng both wore ordinary clothes. She curled her lips disdainfully and said, "Poor girl, since that two-tailed scarlet flame fox is yours, it makes things easier. Name a price, I want to buy it." "Sorry, I'm not selling it." Yun Chujio put the 3 silly munchkins into her storage ring and turned around to leave. "Stop. It's your lucky day that junior sister Lianxin has taken a fancy to your spirit beast. Hurry up and hand over that two-tailed scarlet flame fox. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." A man with a hooked nose said arrogantly. Yun Chujio sneered, "Impolite? How impolite?" The young man with the hooked nose looked at Yun Chujio with disdain. "In the Chimeric Plains, only the strong are respected. Even if we kill you, no one will dare to say a thing. Cut the crap and hand over the two-tailed scarlet flame fox, or I'll kill you." The flaming 3-tailed fox king was already furious in the spirit beast pouch. "Bastard! You actually want to skin me? Master, let me out. Let me burn these 6 dregs to death." Yun Chujio comforted the flaming 3-tailed fox king for a while, then said to the hook-nosed man indifferently, "The strong are respected? Then if I kill you, no one will bother me in the future." The 6 people could not help but laugh out loud. The hook-nosed man said arrogantly, "You are only at the 2nd layer of the spirit cultivator realm, and the 6 of us are all at the 3rd layer of the spirit cultivator realm. How can you beat us? Besides, you dare offend our goshawk sect in the Chimeric Plane? You have a death wish." Yun Chujio was stunned, and then she laughed until tears almost came out. "The goshawk sect? There is actually a sect called the goshawk sect. Ha ha ha, is there a mosquito sect next?" The hook-nosed man flew into a rage out of humiliation. "Brat! How dare you insult our goshawk sect? You're courting death." After the hook-nosed man finished speaking, he threw a few wind blades at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio's eyes deepened. Since he had attacked so ruthlessly, don't blame her for overreacting. After Yun Chujio dodged a few wind blades, her body instantly appeared behind the hook-nosed man like a phantom. She kicked him, and the hook-nosed man was sent flying hundreds of feet away before he fainted. Yun Chujio did not stop there. She turned around and kicked the woman's stomach. "Damn it! I told you not to bother us. You asked for this." The woman did not expect to be kicked by Yun Chujio without her saying a word. In addition, the difference in spiritual power was so large that she was sent flying. The other 4 men only reacted at this time. All kinds of spiritual power attacks came at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio moved around and did not use her lightning at all. She just relied on her agile movement to kick the 4 people to the ground. These little dregs were far inferior to the skills of those flaming 3-tailed foxes. Feng, who watched at the side, was a little speechless. How did Miss Jiu become so agile? She was twice as fast now compared to when she fell into the hole. Chapter 688, The Goshawk Sect. After Yun Chujio restrained the spiritual power of the 6 people, she kicked them together like a soccer ball. The faces of the 6 people were all scratched by spiritual plants on the ground, and when the woman saw that her proud face was scratched, her eyes were filled with a vicious light. Yun Chujio didn't care about it and said with a smile, "Come on, who can tell me about the goshawk sect? If you say something useful, I will let you go while I will kill the rest of your group." There is only one chance, which one of you will speak up? The eyes of the 6 people flickered, and the hook-nosed man said with a fierce expression, "Brat, if you dare harm any of us, the Goshawk sect will not let you off." Yun Chujio drew a sword from his waist and pointed it at his neck. The hook-nosed man screamed and fell to the ground. "This time, do you believe me? Who will tell me what I want to know? Or do you all want to die?" Yun Chujio held up the sword and asked with a smile. However, in the eyes of the 5 people, that was the most threatening smile they have seen. One of the men shouted, "I will. I'll tell you everything." The woman said fiercely, "Don't. I'll do it." The eyes of the other 3 men flickered. One of the men said loudly, "Junior Sister Lianxin, we usually let do as you wish. This time, we cannot since it's a matter of life and death. Young hero, I will tell you what you want to know." "Deng Shi, what do you know?" "Young hero, I have more knowledge than him, let me be the one to tell you." "Young hero, I'm the oldest here, and I know more than the rest. Ask me." Seeing the 4 of them like this, the woman cursed angrily, You dare defy me? My father won't forgive you." The eyes of the 4 of them flickered. They couldn't care less about the consequences now. It was more important to save their own skin. Yun Chujio smiled faintly. "How about this? I'll give each of you a chance to tell me something useful. Whoever provides the most detail, I'll let them go." The 5 of them scrambled to tell Yun Chujio everything they knew. They were afraid that they would lose out to the rest, so they just spilled everything, regardless of whether it was useful or not. Yun Chujio summarized what they said, and she had a rough understanding of the Goshawk sect. Although the weather on the Chimeric Plain was harsh, there were many unique herbs and demonic beasts. Therefore, people saw a business opportunity and came to buy herbs and demonic beast materials. As time passed, 100 miles away from the Chimeric Plain, lay Chimeric City. In the city were many shops and merchants frequented by cultivators. The power of the mayor of Chimeric City grew bigger and bigger, and eventually, the Goshawk sect was established. The Goshawk sect was medium-sized and on about the same level as the Zhua family that Yun Chujio had destroyed. There were 6 people above the Spirit Emperor realm, more than 20 spirit cultivators, and the rest were all at the spirit enhancement level. These 6 people were all inner sect disciples, and the woman was the biological daughter of the current sect master, Lu Qian. The 6 of them had also come to the Chimeric Plains for training. The sect members often came to this area for training, so the symbol of the Goshawk sect was widely recognized by others. Therefore, the 6 of them had always been able to do as they pleased. Who would have thought that they would stub their toes today? Yun Chujio thought about it. Even the strongest dragon could not defeat a snake that knew its surroundings. Moreover, she did not have anything against them, so she said, "If each of you give me 100,000 spirit stones and I will let you go. Otherwise, I'll kill you and leave your bodies in the Chimeric Plains. Your Goshawk sect can't do anything to me." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.